All right, so I've used the Fujifilm X100VI for just over a year at this point, and I actually wanted to take this opportunity to show you guys all of the accessories that I own. I actually made a few accessory videos in the past, going over my top this and top that and some of the best accessories for this camera. I actually wanted to take this opportunity to show you guys what I'm actually using right now, some new accessories that I've gotten, also things that I loved in the past that, I don't use anymore. And also, of course, a few brands sent me some accessories for this video. Not really this video, they sent them to me over the year, and some I've actually talked about in the past, but we have some new stuff to talk about. And I actually want to show you guys my must-have, like, essential accessories for this camera. I have everything from straps to lenses, the filters, the flashes, the batteries, to literally everything that you can imagine for this camera. There are a couple brands that I actually don't have accessories for, but I feel like this is maybe like 80% of the accessories on the market for this camera, or at least the ones that a lot of people are, looking for. So yeah, I'm gonna go through everything on this table. It's gonna be a long video. I'll put chapters down below so that way you guys can skip to maybe, you want to go to the strap section, you want to go to, filter section, whatever you want to do. I'll have chapters down below. But yeah, let's take this opportunity to run through everything. Let's start at the top. All right, let's start with soft shutter buttons. All right, so the shutter button that I actually have on this camera right now is actually one that I recently got on eBay. This is actually a 7mm and it's super tiny. A lot of people say that soft shutter release buttons are, hazardous. They, can break the camera, and mostly because they can snag on things. They can pull out the shutter release button, if it snags onto a backpack strap or clothing or anything like that. But also Fujifilm themselves released a special edition of this camera with a soft shutter release button. So that kind of silenced a lot of critics out there that were saying that you shouldn't have a shutter button on your camera. So I haven't had any issues with my shutter button, but I got this little guy at 7mm and it's flat. I actually didn't mind having any overhang around the edges. I just got this because I like how small it is, and I like that I still get that nice raised tactile feel with the button, but I don't have to worry about it being too large or lifting off the top of the body itself. I also have an assortment of shutter release buttons. Ones that you've seen primarily on the channel are gonna be those little like ridged, that's a nice little diamond pattern. They're concave. I like the concave buttons traditionally, so I have it in red and also brass. I also got this like retro Fuji logo button. I actually like this one a lot. And then also have the Polar Pro shutter release button as well. This one came with the mag flip kit, but I think I've settled on the 7mm shutter release button right there. It's classy, it's minimal. It's nice little, nice little eye candy, nice little camera jewelry. A lot of these accessories honestly will be for vanity's sake. Some are practical and they actually help with ergonomics and tactile feedback and all that, but a lot of them just because I like my camera to look nice, because it's going to be around my neck, it's going to be with me all the time, so I want it to look and feel the way I want it to look and feel. So going on from shutter release buttons, let's go on to like the hot shoe covers. I actually got this one from Small Rig. This is like their homage to Fujifilm. It has the audio signature or waveform for Fujifilm, if you say it out loud, and also has the date of origin when Fujifilm was created at 1934. It's pretty cool, nice little touch. I actually hate branding from companies on their products, so I actually like shaved off the Small Rig logo. If you can see that, I shaved it off because I ain't got no time for that. So yeah, I like this hot shoe cover, and you're probably gonna beg the question, why not, you don't have a thumb rest. We're talking about thumb rests. Let's talk about some of the ones that I've used over this past year. The first one that I fell in love with was this square hood thumb rest. If you guys watch the videos, you'll know that I use this one quite a bit. This is like one of the first like premium, I guess you could say. Complete solid metal, very durable. The kind of drawback to this one is the fact that it does cover the AEL, AFL button. So if you use back button focus, you might not like that. Then a couple brands sent me some thumb grips. This one is the JJC one. It's nice enough, a little leather accent on the top of it. It does feel a little bit loose, when you hit it from certain angles. I don't like this branding on here, the JJC with the model number. I feel like the branding is kind of tacky. I'm not a big fan of it. But then also I have the Small Rig thumb grip as well with the audio signature as well. So it's just like the hot shoe cover with the thumb rest. I do like the fact that it doesn't cover any buttons. It is, stretched out nicely. And then I also have this Polar Pro one as well. This one has a locking pin, which is something I really loved because you don't get that wiggle. You screw that down, there's no play, there's no give. This is actually, if I were to use a thumb grip by itself, it would probably be this one, because I actually like the extra little hook or curvature to this thumb rest. Nice indentations here for the cutouts for the buttons, the dials and everything, you know, is still usable. Then I got, you know, of course, thumb grips that came with the tilted cage. I got that there. This also has a locking pin on it. There's like a screw that goes with the top plate here. This was featured in one of my last accessory videos, but you put thumb rest in, you put this guy on the side, you screw it in, it's very secure. Everything's covered. The top plate also covers the, of course, the top of the camera, so you don't have to worry about it getting damaged if you drop it or anything. It actually feels pretty secure. This was actually my favorite thumb rest until I got my Polo Pro one, because I like the extra indentation here. All the buttons are usable, the knobs are usable. Also, the grip gives it a nice like retro look. Adds, of course, some heft to it, but it gives you some extra purchase on it. If you have big hands, you can grip it a lot easier with that. And also too, like, you know, just to show the Polo Pro kit to an extent, I like the fact that for one, the thumb rest is in there. Like, you don't even really need the locking pin because it's pretty snug. The grip is nice, has these nice indentations right here. So you get the nice indentations on it, so that way you can like rest your middle finger or your index finger. Really, your middle finger is gonna be right there. And then you got your purchase right there. The extra curvature to the thumb rest is nice. This is probably one of the better cages. And then of course, like I said, with the whole kit, you get the mag flip adapter. You just screw that on there. The grip with the thumb rest on this feels actually really, really good. This is probably like my runner up for grip thumb rest combo. The lens hood is kind of cool. Actually, my biggest gripe with the lens hood for the longest was, I don't know if I would want to have to constantly flip up and down this to use my CPO filter, because that's the benefit of this lens hood. With this lens hood, you can put, you know, the everyday filter or any CPL mist filter and be able to rotate it on here. So that way you can actually use the filter, use the CPO effect. So you can knock out reflections and things like that in water and windows, car windows, you know, building windows, whatever, knock out reflections with the CPO. But having to lift it up and rotate it, I don't know. It just felt kind of weird, and then putting it down is like, I mean, I guess you could always leave it up. Just this whole action kind of threw me off for the longest, but I can see the benefit. Also, you get this nice cover here, so that way you can protect your lens itself when you're not using your camera for travel. The other thumb grip that I'd say is probably my favorite thumb grip out of all the ones that I own is going to be pretty similar to the Polo Pro because it does have a locking pin, but this one, it's actually intended, I believe, for the XE4. But I like the angle on the thumb rest. The angle feels good. The only downside to this one is that it does block the shutter and ISO dial just a little bit. You can still grab it from the right side, but you can't grab it from the straight on. But everything else is usable. But I do like the fact that there's zero branding on this and that there's a locking pin. But yeah, this is my favorite thumb grip of them all. I made a few videos about this. You can definitely check those out on the channel. I also have this freewheel thumb grip, which is pretty cool because it does give you a pretty decent angle on the grip, which is nice. It gives you some nice grip pattern. This one actually feels really, really good in hand, I'll say. But once again, I don't like that it says freewheel there. It's kind of annoying. But the cool thing about this thumb rest is that you actually have an attachable cold shoe. So you can screw this cold shoe on and you can still have things like your flash. Of course, you won't be able to communicate with the camera with it because it is a cold shoe, not a hot shoe. But you do have that extra attachment there so that we can still use your accessories on top of the camera, which is nice. I have two lens hoods from Freewell. So this one you've heard me talk about before. All right, so this is the old one and this is the new one. And to be honest, I actually kind of like the old one better for a few reasons. For one, I like that it's not as loud. It's just silver. Even the Freewell logo is in black. It's minimal, it's placed nicely. I honestly never had any issues with this adjustment knob here. A lot of people say that it would drift for them, but I had no issues with it. And then also on this one, you do have some pretty nice grip to it. You have two rubberized pads here so that we can twist and rotate the CPO, which is nice. But I just don't like that it's red. I feel like it's kind of loud. It draws a little bit too much attention. The camera's already, you know, kind of loud being silver, but I don't need red and all the other accent colors to make it pop even more. I also don't like that there's a full-blown Freewell logo and it says CPL with arrows. Like, I bought this, I know why I bought this, I know that it's for the CPL. You don't need to put CPL on it. And also it's just the big ass Freewell logo. I'm just not a huge fan of that. And then also one thing that's kind of updated on this is the fact that you can't flip it up. So it's similar to the mag flip. And you can actually change out your filter, which is nice. So that's cool. And if you don't want to have a CPO mist, you can just screw it off and not have to worry about taking off the entire hood to take off the filter, which is cool. But I just like the design on this one a little bit more. I like that it's just more understated. I feel like they just did a little bit too much on this. They kind of over engineered it, and I think they had it kind of right the first time. So this is another hood that I actually got from JJC. I actually never really used this because I put it on and I was instantly turned off because it's just, I don't know, it's just too beefy and it's like a weird shape. It's like a squircle. I'm not really with the squircles, so I never really use this one too much. I do like the fact that it has locking pins, so you put like a little Allen key in here and you can tighten it down so that way you don't have to worry about it rotating, which is nice. And also, it's nice that they include a cover so that way you don't have to worry about your lens getting damaged, but I just don't like that it's plastic. The rest of it is metal, and then you have this like plastic piece right here. I'm just not a fan of it, and like this weird texture on here, I don't know. The ones that I use the most are from Hogue or Haug. They're all metal construction, they just feel solid. And also Hogue doesn't charge a lot for their products. You can tell they're not like super refined. It's like quick getting in and out. They put a little bit of polish, a little bit of texture here and there, but it's not like, you know, premium boutique. It's not like Square Hood or, you know, any of those like higher end brands, but you also don't have to pay them Square Hood money. I just like the way it looked. Once again, for vanity's sake, of course, these lens hoods do provide some practical benefit. You do have the ability to block out the sun, so that way you'll get flares and ghosting. So lens hoods are nice, are practical, but a lot of people just get them because they look cool, and there's nothing wrong with that. So this adapter ring goes on here. It's from JJC. I actually use this one probably the most. This is my most used lens hood. Once again, it's all metal. I just like the way the round looks, and also like the fact that I can detach this, take it off if I don't want, you know, it to be too bulky. I want it to fit in bags a little bit easier. I take that out. Has a filter ring on here as well, so I can put my different filters on there, which is nice. You can use a everyday filter with it, but of course you won't be able to rotate the CPL while it's in there. But I love this hood. This is probably my most used hood out of all of them. You've seen it in the videos. I got tons of B-roll of this lens hood. And then also I got this adapter ring. This adapter ring is big, beefy, in metal. It's from JJC as well, but I just like the fact that it's clean and minimal. I put it on there on the front of the camera just to put a filter on it, and if I don't want a hood. But honestly, it's kind of thick enough to be a hood, so you might knock out some flares with it too. But it's thick as hell, but it's nice. I don't know. I like this adapter ring. That's another good adapter ring. Also too, moving on to what I hinted to earlier, these are the Viltrox conversion lenses. Now I have the Freewell conversion lenses as well that I never use because I don't like the degradation in quality on them, but these are top notch. I'll make a full video about them. Of course, you've seen videos. They launched, I believe, last month, late last month or early this month. They've already launched. I've had these for like 6 months. I've had these for a very long time, but I couldn't make a video when I wanted to because, you know, they weren't launched yet, they weren't announced, so I didn't want to show you guys something that you couldn't buy. But these are amazing. I love these. I'd say they're more on par with the first-party Fujifilm ones, but they're much cheaper. They do have the magnets inside, so that way it communicates directly with the camera, letting you know that this is the WCL and this is the TCL. This one has a 67mm thread. This one has a 49mm thread. So if you already have 49mm filters, which I do for, you know, the camera itself, because normally people get a 49mm filter thread for the, you know, lens by itself, so that all those will still work with the conversion lens, which is nice. So I'll put the everyday filter on here. I'll put my shimmer glass on here. I'll put everything on here, which is cool. And also I do have some 67mm filters as well that I can put on this one. I actually probably use the wide more than the telephoto, but they both have their uses. If you want to get some good portrait shots, you can go with the 50. You want to get some wide landscape stuff, you won't need something wider than 35 when you get environmental portraits. I love this as well for family stuff. So I use both of these conversion lenses quite a bit. I'll make a full video about them and show you samples and photos and all that. But that's amazing. Go for these ones over the Fujifilm ones because the Fujifilm ones are just kind of too expensive in my opinion. Definitely get those if you want extra lens options, because a lot of people complain, especially in my XC5 versus the X100VI video. People are like, oh, you know, I want the ability to change lenses, blah blah. And I get that, you know, having the ability to swap out lenses and all that, but if you want the best of both worlds, you still want the compact nature of the X100VI when you want it, and you want some of the other benefits like the built-in ND, you want the leaf shutter, you want the built-in flash, all of the other benefits of the X100VI, but you want the ability to change your focal length when you want to. just get some conversion lenses. One thing I've realized spending more time with the X100VI is that the camera experience doesn't stop when you put the camera down. A lot of it happens back here, importing photos, editing, organizing, just sitting with the work for a bit. And that's where this video sponsor, the Vernal Executive Standard Desk, fits into my day in a really natural way. I've been using the executive setup in light walnut, and what stood out to me first was how solid it feels. This desk uses a dual motor frame rated to lift up to 350 pounds, and you feel that stability immediately. When the desk moves, it's smooth, quiet, and confident, no wobble, no hesitation. I usually start my photo sessions seated and then raise the desk when I'm reviewing images or doing longer edits. The height adjustment is quick, and the memory keypad makes it easy to move between positions without thinking about it. There's also an anti-collision system, which sounds technical, but in real life, it just means peace of mind. And for me, it's the little things. The integrated drawer keyboard tray keeps the desk surface clean. The shelf gives me a place to stage gear or keep things I reach for often. And the cable management system underneath keeps everything out of sight, which honestly helps me stay focused. And what I appreciate most is that it doesn't feel like office furniture. The solid wood top, the rounded corners, the clean lines, it feels like something that belongs in the room, not something that I have to work around. And knowing that it's been tested through tens of thousands of lift cycles with a 15-year warranty makes it feel like a long-term piece. The X100VI is about removing friction and staying intentional, and the Vernal Desk supports that same mindset. It's there when you need it, and it gets out of the way when you don't. If you want to check it out for yourself, use my code to get a special discount. The affiliate link is down in the description. Now let's get back to the X100VI accessories. Filters, let's talk filters. All right, so the filter that I use all the time is going to be the everyday filter. It goes in this case here. I don't know if it's actually, oh no, here it is right here. So I use this everyday filter. It comes with this case. The case never gets used really because it's always on my camera. So this is the everyday filter. Mine has a few scratches on it because I use it without a hood, and it scrapes things, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with a little bit of patina. It comes this nice like forest army green, which I love. Green is my favorite color. So this everyday filter is nice because it gives you like a quarter pro mist, and it gives you a CPL. I use it all the time. Because it does, you know, soften those highlights. It doesn't lift the shadows as much because you have the CPL factor in there as well. So you can rotate it and get darker shadows or knock out reflections or kind of dehaze the image. So I love this filter. And also I wish it had not a quarter, but an eighth pro mist on it, or eighth mist, because sometimes I just want the mist to be a little bit more subdued. I want a very subtle mist. I want a subtle bloom. The other filters that I cycle in and out of rotation are going to be the 135 series filters. They come in these cool little metal cases. There's gold mist, black mist, and also chroma PL, which is like a CPL filter. The one that I use the most is going to be the gold mist, without a doubt, because it gives you a different look. Another filter that I use that is from K&F, and I actually love this over mist. This is a pro tip for you guys. Get Shimmer Diffusion 1. Because you get the highlights, you get the like bloom in the highlights, not a crazy bloom, but it doesn't lift the shadows nearly as much as a pro mist does. So this is really good. I enjoy this filter quite a bit. And when I don't feel like, you know, if I'm not taking photos of cars or water or windows and I don't need a CPL, this is my go-to, because sometimes you don't want the overly, you know, Vaseline bloomed look on your images, and pro mist kind of lifts the shadows too much, in my opinion. The only flash that I actually have for this camera is this Zenico flash. I know Godox makes some. This was actually pretty cool. I just put it in TTL. It has a nice retro look and design to it, so it looks nice on the camera as well. You do does, you know, beef it up a bit, but it has a nice retro aesthetic, so it kind of matches the vibe of the camera, which I like. And it's also super bright. It's definitely brighter than the built-in flash on the camera. And also, if you have a lens hood, you don't have to worry about having that lens hood shadow when you use the flash. But yeah, you can adjust the power level on here. But like I said, I just put it on TTL, and it communicates with the camera and kind of gets it right every single time. Also comes with this nice little diffusion cap, so you can, like, you know, soften the light a little bit and have that there. But yeah, I like this flash. I haven't used it a ton. I don't use a flash a lot, but when I do need a flash, this is going to be the one I'm going to use, because I like the design, I like the aesthetic, and also I like the fact that it just works. It does what it's supposed to do. Let's get to the grips. Grips are very popular. I kind of touched on grips a little bit. We talked about the Tilta grip that comes with the cage. I made a full video about this and incorporated this in one of my last accessory videos. I like the wood grain. It feels quality. It's metal. It's nice. And when the whole kit's put together, the ergonomics are really nice as well. The one grip that I absolutely love and I still use every now and then just because I like the feel of it, it's this leather grip. You know, you get a good purchase on it and the leather just feels like nice and supple and it's like real genuine leather. Then also I have this one here from Freewell, which is, you know, very similar to the Tilta grip. It has like the same kind of wood design on it, honestly. But this one, of course, just like the Tilta, it has the Arco Swiss. Flathead here, magnetically attached, which is very useful. For tightening this down or tightening down other accessories, you have access to your battery, SD card, your speaker, everything's there. It has a nice little rubber padding, so that way you don't have to worry about the camera getting scratched on the bottom. And then onto the best grips ever. These ones here from Awesome Grips. Now they did send me these grips. These are expensive grips. They're like $200+ for these grips. They're made out of a single piece of aluminum, but they are extremely nice. This one here is actually one that he sent to me. They're made by one guy in Canada. He does a great job. This one is seen better days, so I scratched up and beat it. But this is a part of their like a texture. I don't know if it's even out yet, but it's kind of like a I forgot what he called it, but it's not polished. It's kind of like a soft touch texture on it. You can also customize. You can have different eyelets on here. I have an eyelet on the side there, another one on this side. So if you want to, you know, have your camera strap be vertically oriented, you can have that. I also have this one in the regular polished, which I actually probably use this one the most because I just like the smooth feel to it. You have a nice little pinky rest here, or in my case, ring finger rest because of my bigger hands. But it just feels like this is how it should be held. Once you have the complete back thumb palm rest here, you'll never want to go to a traditional thumb rest. You'll never want to have a grip on the front. This is the way you should hold the X100VI. This is the best grip by far. It's completely worth the money. This is the AGX106 model in black. This one also has the front grip on it, which is nice because you have a little bit of an extra purchase on there. You're still, man, it just feels like I can just hold this camera with complete confidence now having this on here. It does make the front a little bit bulkier, but like the star of the show, like I said, is that back thumb rest. That palm rest is just amazing. This is hands down the best grip I've ever used on this camera, and it's not even close. Like, it's not close at all. Now onto the straps. So a lot of people wanted to do this trend with the Apple straps, right? And I joined the trend. As you can see, I got 2 of the straps, and these, of course, to Apple's credit, or to, you know, no fault to Apple, these are not intended to be used with the camera. These are meant to be used with your phone, right? But the X100VI isn't a big camera, so I was like, let me try it out. And there's a couple reasons why I will never recommend these for your camera, unless you have like maybe a Ricoh GR3 or GR4, something smaller, lighter. But I use these with my X100VI, and I actually noticed that one of the eyelet little connectors, I had frayed to the point where it was about to break, and I actually caught it before it broke, which is nice because that would have been devastating if I was like on a cruise or boarding a plane, or, you know, on the side of a mountain or something. Like if I was somewhere where my camera fell and I lost it forever, I would be heartbroken. So yeah, this thing started to fray. The strap itself is durable, nice magnets. It feels really good. But the connections are not meant for cameras. And it started to fray and it almost broke on me, and I caught it right before it broke. So that would have been devastating. I will never recommend these for the X100VI, but maybe if you have a GR3 or something, you want to risk it all, these are really good. I like that they're minimal and they're thin though, and I've loved using this. I used it a lot before it broke, and it kind of is heartbreaking that I can't use it anymore. When it comes to straps, you have a lot of different connectors, right? You have Peak Design. So I got Peak Design. I also have the Kodak lugs for the quick release, and then I also have these from PGY Tech. These are pretty neat too. So there's a lot of different options out there, which is something I'm really happy about, because for the longest, Peak Design was kind of dominating the quick release space for camera straps. So of course you had like a bunch of third-party companies. I got these off like Etsy, these paracord wrist straps. These are nice. I use these from time to time when I'm using the Peak Design lugs. And then also have, of course, my Hyperion custom strap here. I love this strap when you want to just get your vintage camera vibe on. This one has the Fuji X logo on it, which is nice material. It's all handmade. I believe the company's called Hyperion Handmade. I love their straps, the rope straps, top quality. Then I also have these from PGY Tech. Now these were sent to me, so disclaimer there, but I like the fact that this one here, I forgot the name of it, but it'll be down in the description. This one's thinner right here, then also wide around your neck, so it's comfortable. Nice soft suede material. This one isn't as adjustable because it has like these like lock-ins here through these slits. So you kind of have to like undo it, unbuckle it, and readjust it if you want to change the length of it, but you can't really do it on the fly. But one thing I really like is their quick release system when it comes to PGY Tech. So with PGY Tech, it just like goes in like that, and also it spins completely 360. So you never have to worry about this piece getting tangled up like you do on Peak Design quick releases, which is why I don't use Peak Design that much anymore. I use either my Kodak ones or these PGY Tech ones because they spin 360, so you don't have to worry about this part getting all tangled up and weird. And then also I have their wrist strap, which is made out of the same like suede leatherish material, soft to the touch, adjustable, fits my wrist. This one has slightly different quick release, same principle, but the actual button is underneath this rubber, which is kind of cool. Then you put it in there, nice affirmative click, press this, release it. I love this quick release system. I use this wrist strap quite often. And then my favorite around the neck strap is definitely the ones from Kodak. This release system is really nice. So it has like these ball bearings here. They securely go in here, like so. Not going anywhere, completely metal. Spins 360, don't have to worry about it getting all weird. And if you want, you have the versatility of having the other connection right here on the side. So you can use one single eyelet and have it, you know, around your shoulder, your neck, wherever. The Kodak branding on this, I could do without, but the utility of the strap is so good that I'll deal with it. But yeah, you have the Kodak logo there, and you also have it in like embossed on the actual strap itself. But I like the strap so much that I got it in green and also black. And then also we have this guy here from PGY Tech, another strap. This one's like their thicker, more robust strap. I use this a lot with my Sony a7 IV, but I love the fact that this release system is super snappy, quick and responsive. You just pull this tab and pull it up or down, and you can adjust the length of it on the fly. So yeah, I love that about this. And this padding is super, super comfortable, super cushioned. Yeah, I use this at CES and almost forgot the camera was on because it just felt comfortable. Now these are my go-to bags, and most of them are from Grams 28. They of course sent, no, not of course, but they sent me these bags, and I love them. I haven't really made any videos about them. They sent me these bags probably like a year ago, so that kind of shows you what that partnership is like. No money is exchanged hands. They're not paying me to talk about this. I'm only talking about it because I want to. Grams 28 products are super premium, and it reflects it in the price. They are expensive, but they're worth it. The leather quality, material, supple, high quality leather. The buckles are metal. They have this cool parachute buckle here, so that way you don't have to worry about it coming loose. I love this one because it fits my iPhone 17 Pro Max perfectly in its front pouch. And then you also have the inner pouch for the camera itself. Camera goes in here like that. Boom, has like an accordion style there. And actually it's snug with the lens head on there, but it does close nicely all in one pouch. I have this strap here, nice thick strap. They actually rotate 360 degrees as well, so you don't have to worry about them getting tangled. You can readjust any way you need to. Also, metal furniture on this one, nice metal rings. Boom. This is my go-to, like everyday dad. It's my everyday dad carry. If I don't want my camera just out swinging around, this is what I'll put on. This is my go-to. Outside of that, if I'm carrying more accessories, more batteries, I use this guy. Has a strap right here. You can carry a 7.4 in here. You can carry, I carry my GFX in here, 50R. This one's a slightly bigger case. Works with the same neck strap, so you can detach it from the other bag. Or I think it comes with its own neck straps. But yeah, this is a little bit bigger, but it carries more from carrying batteries. Conversion lenses for the X100VI. I'll put them all in here. So yeah, this is the bigger choice. And then if you want to go super minimal with no lens hood, no filter ring, this one here. This is like a nice crossbody, has an integrated strap, same parachute metal buckle there. This one is also pretty clutch. I use this quite often when I'm running a very minimal kit on the X100VI. Like I said, no lens hood, no filter, just put it in there. You have a couple spots for your phone. You can even put some batteries in here. This is nice leather. The last bag on this list that I use quite frequently is this one from Air. They don't even make this one anymore. I want to say they have a newer version of it, but this is just a crossbody bag. It fits the X100VI with a lens hood or filters, whatever you want, because this front pocket expands quite a bit. So you can fit your fully kitted out X100VI in the front, which is what I normally do. Then you have a middle pocket here for batteries, for really anything you can put in there. Anything you carry, keys, wallet, all in there. And then in the back pocket, right there, you have put my phone in there normally. So those are all the bags that I normally use on a daily basis, the X100VI. And I think that might be all of the accessories, guys. I think you ran through them all. Look forward to much more coverage on the X100VI. If you like these videos, you like these kind of videos, definitely hit the subscribe button, like, comment. Let me know what accessories you're using, some things that I left out. Let me know, because I'm obviously in the market for more accessories, so I'm definitely going to check them out if you guys let me know down in the comments. Actually, funny enough, the only reason I know about Awesome Grips is because one of you guys commented in the on the video and asked me, hey, have you ever used Awesome Grips? I think it was on TikTok, was it TikTok or YouTube? They're like, hey, have you ever used Awesome Grips? And I was like, no, I never even heard of them. Small boutique brand. I looked them up and reached out to the owner, and boom, favorite grip of all time. So I take recommendations. Please let me know if you have any accessories in mind, or camera straps, or anything for the camera, because I want to perfect this build. I feel like I've gotten pretty close to perfected right now with my current kit, but I'm always open to be wrong, and I'm always open to new stuff. So let me know. But yeah, it's been a pleasure as usual. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, stay fresh. Peace.